Well, hello everyone. I'm Kaye here on my homestead in Tennessee. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am a gardening channel that focuses on medicinal plants, gardening, sustainability, self-sufficiency, prepping, and one-pot meals. Lots of stuff. But at one time I was a very accomplished seamstress and knitter. And a lot of people have expressed, oh, this winter while the garden is sleeping, please go over your knitting and sewing. And so it's been a real trip, as we used to say, for me to look back through all this and share this with you. So here's the next segment. So as I was mentioning, I started modeling to try, to get into acting, but I looked pretty good back then, and so I thought, okay, well, I can make some money modeling, modeling clothes, pretending to be moms and doctors, and well, not doctors, but nurses, and whatever in ads. And so you had to have a portfolio, and I met a photographer in Washington, D.C., who was building his portfolio, and he did a number of shots in his studio with me, one of which was this, and I showed this in the beginning. Now, this is what do you call that? That's like a culotte, a long culotte, long blousey calf-length pants with a very beachy type wrap top, which you would have to wear a strapless undergarment for support. Of course, today, who knows? But at any rate, this was the picture that we took, and here is the outfit. Now, I did a number of pictures with him, and I realized that this outfit, which is it's a gorgeous photo, but this outfit is no longer. I think the fabric, first of all, the fabric was not 100% linen, cotton, or wool, and it did pick. And and I think I'm recalling that the blouse was polyester, and over time I just lost it. I got rid of it, but it's a gorgeous picture, and I'll show you a close-up. But let me pull out the outfit. But first, I need to pick up where I left off. I was in Washington making these pictures, and I have the outfit, but I showed you in the last segment my Z card, which is the card that you have to make with a variety of looks, where you look like a mom, you look like a this, you look like a that, and you have a business look, you have a comedic type look, and then you just have an outdoorsy look, and that's what this was. My mother made this scrapbook. I said that in the last piece. And so this was, I think, that might have been my bicycle. I don't even remember now. I don't think I still have the jeans, but I still have this sweatshirt. And this was a sweatshirt I got on Saturday Night Live when I worked there in 1983. But let's go backwards, because I had this made in a park in D.C. So this was my card that I gave out in Washington. But here is the jacket. Now, I really outdid myself on this jacket. This is a bomber style jacket. This was made out of a this was made out of a cotton fabric, a tough sort of a rugged type of cotton that you would make almost like a denim, but not as, it's more polished than denim. And I put this, I think this is the first time I put snap buttons on here. You have to have a device for that. It squeezes through the fabric, and I did that. This is an unlined jacket with pockets. And it has, this style would have been about 1980, and it has a pleat here so that you have more room across the back, and then your waistband is tighter. So it's like, we called it a bomber style jacket, you know, sort of like the military guys wore, the pilots wore. And it has a covered piping on the pocket. So this is the piping. So this is an extra piece that you fold over and do. This would have been a whole extra piece of that you would cut out and put together. Let's see. Yeah, so this would be a piece, this would be a piece. There were a lot of pieces to this. and it had a shoulder pad. And this could have been one of my first shoulder padded garments. But the shoulder pad is completely encased in its own fabric casing. So you know how you would go and buy kind of cheaper clothing that had shoulder pads, and you would look underneath and you would just see the shoulder pad inside the garment. But this is all covered, so all the construction is covered and all the secrets are hidden. That's what you want with a really nice garment. You really, I mean, you can't cover every seam inside, but you can do a lot. And these seams actually were finished. So here we have the inside. Okay. Let's see how far down this. Yeah, this is a covered placket that covers the shoulder pad, which is way up under there. And so this is a separate piece, and you have to build this. This is 1, 2, and then sewn together here, and then hemmed, and you put it together with your outside layer, you see? And look how beautifully these, even though this is an inside piece that will never be seen, unless you do this and look at it, I still had the seams line up exactly. And then this is a finished seam so that you don't see the open selvage. Everything is covered. So that this, I mean, the effect becomes, it's more of a rugged garment that you can toss around and not feel like the shoulder pads are going to fall out, or, you know, everything is covered. So here's the inside pocket, and the outside of the pocket is made like this, with this covering, so that the hand goes in repeatedly, and that you've got 2 layers here instead of 1. So I really loved this, and I didn't wear it that much. It's still in incredible shape, and I wore it in that picture in my Z card with my Saturday Night Live sweatshirt that I picked up, you know, when I worked on the show. Everybody said, why am I not wearing some of my clothes? So I showed this outfit in the last, well, I showed this blouse as part of an outfit in the last video. This is 100% linen, and I haven't had it on in at least, well, 25 years anyway. But I thought, you know, for me to mention Saturday Night Live, I really have to mention how I got the job. So I went to New York, and I had a modeling agency called Gilla Roos. She had been in the business for a long time. She was a tough old bird, you know. And she had a guy working that was doing talent. And of course I wanted a talent agent because I was never going to be a top model because I wasn't tall enough. And so, and I wanted to be an actor anyway. So his name was Marvin Josephson. And I remember saying to Marvin, I'm going to try this for a couple of years. You know, I went to New York, and I said, I'm going to try this for a couple of years. If it doesn't work out, you know, I'm going to do something else. And he said, What are you going to do at the end of 2 years? Like, are you really going to look at it at the end of 2 years and say, I haven't made it, I have made it, and stop? You know, it really made me think. And of course, I stayed with it for 40 years. But I didn't stop. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. But I wanted to show you this picture. These are not in great order, but back in Washington, the photographer that did those pictures of these two outfits I'm going to cover in this video today. I don't have this outfit because I didn't make it, but he took this beautiful photo of me. And this was a borrowed outfit. Somebody wanted to feature their clothing, and I don't remember anything else about it, to tell you the truth. But I got this call from Marvin, and he said Saturday Night Live is looking for, let's just say he's a pretty girl. Okay, fine. They're looking for such and such for a short segment that they're filming, you know, outside of the staged live show, which they were doing fairly often back then. They were doing, they were hiring independent directors to come in and direct 2-minute films that the various cast members would submit. I don't know if you know how it works. And I know everybody has certain opinions about Saturday Night Live. But in the beginning, it was funny. Okay? And it was still funny when I was there. When I was there, it was Eddie Murphy and Billy Crystal, Mary Gross, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and, wow, Joe Piscopo, and there's another woman that I'm forgetting her name at the moment, and Tim Kazurinsky, and oh gosh, Gary Kroger. I'm so glad I remembered that. Gary Kroger, very nice guy. So was Tim. And you know, the big stars were Eddie Murphy and Billy Crystal, okay, and then everything, and then Julia, you know, had a career much better than any of those guys, really. But in terms of money, longevity, working, etc. But at any rate, I was just going in the first time to a casting session for Saturday Night Live, and I went in, and I just vaguely remember this room, and there were girls lined all up around the walls, and they were all like, you know, sexy blondes, let's just say, and I was more conservative, and my look was always classy, not trashy. Not saying they did. I'm just saying you have classy and then you have trashy. So anyway, I thought I don't have a chance. This, you know, it's not going to happen. But I went in and I met Tim, and there was, I guess it was the director. I think his name was Fox. His last name was Fox. Could have been Michael Fox, something like that. Very nice guy. And so I didn't have any credits, so they just looked at my portfolio. And so he's flipping through my portfolio, and then they see this picture and they go, that's what we want. So this is the picture. And I used to be able to do my hair like this in 10 minutes. I could always do my hair like that. They said that's what we want. Now I had no idea about the sketch, the skit, the 2-minute film, or anything, but they cast me. But the name of the sketch was called The Hitchhiker. Okay? So I just wanted to show that and point out the fact that I never get rid of anything. And this sweatshirt is from 1983, when I first worked there. And what happened is, because that show is very different from other shows, because they have their main cast that get all the money and all the attention, and then when they need an extra look, then they call somebody in. And Eddie was doing this thing where he was playing, you know, that character from the Little Rascals. What's his name? Help me out. He was playing that character a lot, and so it would just be this funny sketch where this crazy character from the Little Rascals would walk in, and he would have these beautiful girls with him. So I did a few sketches with him and a few sketches with Billy Crystal, and because I was willing and I needed the money, I would work as an extra and a bit player on the live show. And so I did that. I really worked on quite a lot of shows in 1983, and 83. They were there for 3 years. Each cast was there for 3 years, I think, and 83 to 86. And it was the only time in the history, turned out to be the only time in the history of Saturday Night Live that they brought in a different producer besides Lorne Michaels, who was the first one. He had such great success with the first cast. And for whatever reason, NBC brought in Dick Ebersol for the second season of these characters. And when his contract was up in 3 years, he went to sports. Well, that didn't help me at all. So, and his talent coordinator was replaced. Went, back to the other one, I guess. So I never got called in again. But anyway, that's that. Okay, so what I want to show you today are these 2 outfits, and then we're going to go through a mystery box. I am wearing the shirt that I wore in the last video, but I can't possibly fasten the skirt, so I'm not doing that. So you've just seen the picture. So here are the culottes. And it's this fabulous, of course, once again, 100% linen, but the thread has a glossy, the gold has a glossy, and there's a rust color thread in here that is all of this is very glossy, so it has a sheen to it. And, I haven't had these on in 40 years, and they've been hanging here, and I've never gotten rid of anything. But just look how beautiful. I mean, when you care about your seams, this is what you do. There is a seam right here, but you cannot tell from looking at that stripe there that 2 pieces were put together, just starting there to there. But it's very important. I mean, when you're dealing with stripes and plaids, I mean, imagine if you cut it out wrong, and this leg had the stripe here and this leg had the stripe down here. You can't do that. So you have to think about all these things when you lay it out. You see how it goes across flawlessly, but these are completely, there are 4 pattern pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, that put these 2 legs together, But when you hold it like this, it looks like a skirt because it's all, beautiful seam. Okay, so that's the culottes. And then, believe it or not, well, first I'll show you the top. Now the top, forget it. I mean, you have to be young and thin to wear something like this. I don't even remember exactly how it goes. Okay, so believe it or not, this is the front. Okay, and it's very sheer, but that's the way it was made. And the seams are the seams are gorgeous. The way I put it together, because this is all one piece. This is a single pattern piece, this part, and it has 2 darts. So it has 2 darts for the bust there, and then 2 seams here, but then you have a hole on the side, which is where you start tying this long sash around your waist. So you have a hole there, No hole here. So just one of them goes in and the others just wrap around the waist. But when you put the whole effect together, you don't have to have it off the shoulder. I did for the sake of that photograph. And that necklace, I pulled out of my mother's costume jewelry box. And I still have the necklace and the earrings. I should have brought those up. Oh gosh, I didn't think of that. The sleeve is doubled. So the sleeve has more body. The sleeve needs more body because it's just a little cap that sticks out. It's not going to stick out if it's just the thinness of just one layer of the fabric. So you double that so it has a little bit more body and sticks out. And of course, because it's linen, it wrinkles. And that's why a lot of people stopped wearing linen, because you've got to iron it. And can you believe I don't even own an ironing board? That's how much I got here and just got into gardening, you know. But this is a long piece that just wraps around the waist, and it is a perfect match to the blue in the blue stripe here. So I just loved that. And if you can believe, you can, I still have the shoes. Let's see if they've completely rotted or disintegrated. No? I wouldn't wear them again, but I still have them. And they're little bronze strappy sandals that go around the ankle, tie up around the ankle. Why did I save all this? I don't know, but I did. And actually I have this, I'll save for another video. As I was telling you that, and I will show you these patterns as I come to the outfits. Can't wait. Oh, wow, I forgot I even did that one. Wow, I wonder if I still have that. Where are my older, let's see. Okay. The larger patterns, as I mentioned, are the designer patterns, meaning that a designer has submitted a pattern to Vogue, which they've published. And they're always in the bigger packets. Okay, so it's not in there. It's got to be in the other one. And you're going to see all of these if you want to. The only way I'll know if you want to see all these is if you leave a comment and you share so other people start watching. Okay, this is something we've already done. And this is what I'm wearing today. So I showed this in the last one. This is the shirt that I'm wearing right now. It looks very dark, and I usually don't wear dark clothing or make dark clothing. So what I'm looking for is the pattern. Here it is. And I think, I think I might have gotten all of these pieces out of this one pattern, and this is the Perry Ellis that I mentioned. So we're going to take that away. So here's the pattern. Okay? Now, for sure, I had one of these. Well, no, you've seen it. You've seen it. You saw it. So here is this is what I had on in the last video. Okay? It's just made like a coat, and they're not even showing it like that. So they're showing a shorter coat. So I must have taken it upon myself to make it longer, which seems odd. I didn't usually do things like that. This is just a double-breasted, all it has, but here's the big sash. So you see the big sash on her right here, and I'll give you a closer look. when you look at the back, it seems like I would have made this. Maybe I did. Maybe I'll find it. No, you know what? That is not the jacket. That is not the jacket. It's built differently. Yeah, there has to be another pattern because I've got a skirt. I can't believe I would have lost that pattern. It's certainly not like me. And I've made all of these. Every single one of these I've made. But I looked through there again and I could not find the pattern of what I'm about to show you. And if I find the pattern, I will bring it to your attention in another video. But look at this fabulous fabric. This has a gorgeous sheen, and if it's turned one way, it looks purple. And if it turns another way, it looks aqua. And I lined it with, this is just the lining. Yeah. I lined it with just a lightweight purple cotton so that, you know, when it moved, first of all, this is very sheer. You would not be able, well, they wear anything today, okay? But back then, you would not wear something that sheer without a slip. I am of the slip era, where we wore slip for modesty. The pockets are the same fabric as this, and so it's just an insert, but it has a beautiful, you see how, a beautiful pleat in the front. Wait. Beautiful pleat in the front. These are over pleats. Now, you can do different things with pleats. You can have an open pleat like this, where it's just doubled over at the waistband. So it's just secured by the stitch along here, which you would baste this and then sew it into your waistband. Or you could stitch it down, stitched pleats, and then it would release at a certain point. Or you could do it like on my first skirt in my last video, where you bring it together and it's a hidden pleat, and you just get the poofy down here. But this is just lovely, and these go this way and these go this way, so that in the middle, where's the middle? Wait, there's the middle. So in the middle they come together, you see? And so if you want any more construction information, I'm happy to give it. This has a button on the side, and how did I get into this? Yes, it was just no zipper. So this is the inside, and it just came together with a button. Actually, I would do this often because buttons pull, especially at your waist when you don't have any stretch here. And so I would do a button on the outside, which of course would match because I was immaculate with that sort of thing, detail. And then I would just put in a hook. You know, so you see the beautiful button, but you don't have a buttonhole that frays, because buttonholes always fray, especially at the waist, because you eat a big meal and your waistband is pulling and all of that. So let's see, let's go this way. And then, so there's one piece, and then the other two pieces. So I used, and of course they, you know, in the fabric store they showed these fabrics together. Otherwise I probably didn't search high and low for this to go with this. They probably were showing them together. I don't remember now. I don't remember where I got it, but it has just a sheer top. This is the front, and this looks an awful lot like this. Maybe, yeah. This is this on here. I knew that this factored in somehow, but I don't think all the pieces are from that. But you see, this is just a very pretty neck with the button placket in the back. And once, oh wait, it's inside out. Sorry. It was hanging on the hanger inside out. You see how I finished off the seams, the edges, I should say. I used an edge trimming, a piece of edge trim to finish off all these seams, because if you don't do this and you just sew it over, then all this is going to fray. And that I really noticed in, you know, the clothing industry at a certain point. Everything started getting so much cheaper, the way they did it. And this would just be all frayed in here. You wash it a couple of times and it's, you know, worn already. So you see how this sheens purple and aqua, depending on how it moves. It's just so gorgeous. So that's the back with your button, your row of buttons there. And of course, I bought, yes, they're heart-shaped blue buttons to match. You know, I'm a Valentine baby. So there's that, and then the jacket, it's this beautiful, no it's not, because see this jacket, you can look, this jacket has no yoke in the back. This is what you call the yoke, this piece. And then I've got a pleat coming off of each side of that, and that gives more body, more looseness to the clothing. And you can see it from this side. Well, you can't see it that well. You can see it if you hold it up against the light. But inside, look at the construction inside. And I always get excited about this sort of thing. The yoke, which provides the structure for the shoulder, is all covered with its own piece. So you see, so this is double. This is 2 layers of fabric, and you have it turned under and finished off. And then yes, on the sleeve you do have a raw seam. This is what you would call a raw seam. You know, a raw edge to the seam. I can't tell if I finished that off or not. But this has the double-breasted, just like the dress. I know I used the same pattern for the dress, the blue dress, because it fastens the same way up here with the snap underneath and the button. And then this is, I lined this. I didn't line it with white. Normally you would just get some pale white fabric, but I found a layer of, I think this is silk, a layer of silk for the lining to give it body, you know, to give it the body and the drape. So, yeah, so this is the same pattern as the dress. It's the same thing. If you opened this up and you undid the snap, it would open up and press. This is a more drapey linen. It doesn't have the body and the, I mean, if you starched it, yes, but this has some silk in it. This is exactly the same pattern, because you see, open it, it still has the buttonhole and the snap. Well, in this case, it's a button, not a snap. This has shorter sleeves. No, wait. Let's see. Yeah, this has shorter sleeves and this has longer sleeves, which is Perry Ellis. However, I don't know where this came from, because that's not part of the pattern. So that's a mystery that may or may not be solved. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed that. I said we were going to open a mystery box, but boy, these videos are getting very long. Let me see if I can just do that very quickly. I tell you what, I'll open a box that's not got so much stuff in it. That won't take as long. And this is probably knitting, and I know I have my knitting friends that are desperate to see some of my, oh dear. That does not look like knitting. Oh, that's just odds and ends. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's see. Oh, wait. This is odds and ends sewing. I probably just shoved a bunch of stuff in here at some point. Oh, but no, I do have a knitted vest in here. And this is all one yarn. And this was so much fun to knit. This is one of the first things I knitted when I got back into it. And let's see. This is all just... Oh, those are some beautiful things, and I'm going to show you in the next video. Absolutely stunning. Let me see. Move this over. But this is my vest, and I could wear this now because it's nice and roomy, and and I have a fabulous button. You know how crazy I am about buttons. And if you never saw my button collection video, if you love buttons, you've got to see this video. The link is right up there. Stop the video, watch that video. I went through my entire button collection that is still on cards and boxes and things. But this was a fabulous button. I'll show this closer. And I'll wear this sweater in the next video. But as you can see, the pattern called for making, let's see, yes, you made this pattern, you knitted, it's so funny because the stripes of the colors go this way, but you're actually knitting, let's see, yeah, wait, no, that's right, that's right, you knit the pieces this way. That's right. Yeah, you start, I think you start here and then you knit the whole, or maybe you start here with the sleeve and this, and then you knit this way. Yeah. So you would be knitting, and it's all one yarn. So you don't worry about that. You don't have to be switching your yarns or anything. But the back is knitted opposite. So the back is knitted normally. And if you never tried this, you might want to try it. It's just fun, you know. You see how the back is knitted normally, like this. These are the I'm holding the armholes right here. These are the armholes. And then, so this is one big piece, and it finishes up like that. But you see, in the front, it's the opposite. Let me fasten the button. Oh wait, it's inside out. The only way I can know if it's inside out is the button, because it's just unusual construction the way you're knitting. You're showing this sweater from the back. Normally, when you knit, you'd be showing this side, and all of your ribbing like that, it would just be on the inside. You know, that's the way you normally would see a sweater. But this one is just the opposite. So you see all the way a sweater looks on the inside from the outside. But you know, this sweater turned out to be so many colors that I just kind of felt like it was a little obnoxious. So I never really wore it that much. And because it's so loose and floppy, even that one button doesn't really hold it together that well. I tell you what, I'll put this on in the next video. We'll just continue. This will be a continuing series. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. God bless you. Please share with a friend, because the algorithm is not going to be sharing my knitting and sewing because it knows my channel as gardening. Thank you very much for your support. Let me know in a comment if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, because there is so much more. Take care. See you next time. God bless. I'm so hungry. Did you hear my stomach growling? Wow.